Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of Pixel Flicks. I am your host, Brian, and with me is the other host. What's your name?
Ryan.
I know we spoke about it last week, but I really struggle saying Brian and Ryan. Like, it just reminds me, I was saying this to, I don't know who, I think it might have been Papa. Remember when we used to work at a certain company on the telephones together?
Yes.
And there was a little gentleman there of the name Woodsy. And you were sat, for some reason, me and Woodsy were in the same team, but for some reason, Ryan was sat near us that day. And I was on the phone to a customer, and Woodsy was just going, Ryan and Brian, Ryan and Brian. And a customer said to me, why is there someone in the background just saying Ryan and Brian?
Woodsy, what a legend.
I know. Just sitting there like an idiot, just going Ryan and Brian, like constantly, repeatedly. And every time I hear our names together, I just think it instantly takes me back to that moment. Also, we're on camera to each other today. We're not filming it, but I think we're going to do that in the future and put it on YouTube. But I can just see your wee Captain America fidget spinner there, Ryan, and I'm a wee bit jealous.
Yes. This is what I did the last time during the last recording as well. So I just sat spinning away the whole time.
So today's episode, there's not a great deal of particularly new news. So there's a couple of rumours we're going to look at. We've got a wee reaction to one particular film at the box office, and we've got a couple of questions. Of course, we'll talk about what we've been watching, what we've been playing over the last week. But yeah, what have you been up to? Not movie gaming related. What have you been up to last week?
Well, yesterday I went to the Riverside Museum. They had a that's like the old transport museum. They had a thing on the go where it was like a Star Wars related day. So they had people there like clone troopers and stormtroopers and all that. So they had that kind of stuff on the go mixed in with all the usual gear. So that was quite interesting. Sophie got a good few wee pictures, which I'll potentially share with you at one point or another.
Nice.
Did that, and then we went out to a park on Saturday, which I can't actually remember where it was we went. Dumfries House, that's where we went. So Bailey had the sledge out and all that kind of stuff just because it was cold and icy.
Nice.
What about you?
I've not been sledging in ages.
No, I've never been. I don't think.
You've never been sledging?
I think so.
Oh my days! There's a bucket list thing for Ryan we need to get done at some point this year. Like we used to do, like when I stayed at my grand's, we used to go sledging in the summer because if you like the wee shop round the corner from my grand's, we used to ask them for their old cardboard boxes, like their big cardboard boxes that they obviously had stuff delivered in.
Yeah.
And we'd go to a hill with long grass, and then you like slide down the long grass in the cardboard box, and then eventually it folds over and it kind of becomes kind of like, I guess, like shiny and just like you can fly down the hill and like, and we're like 40, so sledging is like, that should be part of your life.
Nah, I've never done it before. And I still haven't, so I didn't do it. Didn't do it the other day as well.
I can't believe you've never been sledging. I find that weird.
Well, I'm a weird person. What can I say?
Yeah. Sorry. Not a lot. This week I've been mainly working. We went to the cinema on Saturday, which I'll talk about later on. We saw a bunch of films, and yesterday, not too much. I had to go get some stuff in for food, a bit of bowling a day, like a wee bit of admin. I've got to go do more of that after this and some more grown-up life things. I just hung out with Amelia for a wee bit and watched some TV, and then we did a wee stream on our Twitch channel. We played some Marvel Rivals with Papa and Ben. It was alright. Good.
How'd you get on with the stream? Was it good games, or how did you get on with the old Rivals?
Yeah, mostly. I played when I was on myself for the first 20 minutes or so. I played a couple of ranked games and got battered. It wasn't too bad though, because it was like, do you know, a lot of times with Rivals, which is frustrating, is like I feel like I'm just pinging the objective like crazy, and people are just doing what they want. But like the two games, actually, people were doing the right thing. It just the other team were just really good, and it wasn't even like, and we were all trying kind of bunching up so that we could like stick together as well. It just so happened that the other team were, I think, as the kids say, cracked, and they just beat us.
Nice.
Like our Marvel rivals though, like we obviously we won't talk about it too much, but just briefly, we spoke about it last week, and you were saying how like about like characters getting vaulted, like you feel like because there's so many characters coming, and I was thinking maybe they will do that, but they'll put it in the storyline. Because the current story is that Dracula's got Blade, isn't it? Like sort of captive. I'm pretty sure that's been confirmed now.
Is it?
Maybe something will happen where like the Avengers get captured, or sorry, I just saw a message from Papa pop on our Discord there. Or like, for example, I think season 4 is going to be an Avengers focused game, like a season. So maybe something will happen where certain characters get like, I don't know, put on what's that prison that's in the sea in Marvel?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's in the
comics. It's in the comics as well. But anyway, like that's the sort of thing I was thinking. Like maybe like the story will allow for characters to like not be available at particular times, because there's a lot of characters coming. It looks like, have you seen all the leaks? Like,
yeah, I've seen a few. Yeah,
people doing data mining and stuff like that. Now, maybe the data mining doesn't necessarily mean that these characters are coming, because maybe they could just be like part of the story and not actual gameplay sort of thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think, like, again, I was thinking about this myself the other day there, and it's just going to be one of these things, like you say. I'm pretty sure I saw someone tweeting it, and I think it was, they were asking for a controversial opinion on Rivals, and that was the one that I think I said was that they're going to make it too bloated, and there's just going to be some characters that just don't get used because people just don't really have an interest in playing it for whatever that reason. Whereas I feel like with the current numbers that they've got now in the character list, sometimes you're forced to play different people that maybe you wouldn't normally play or have a great interest in playing. So I don't know, I just think it'll dilute some of what they've got going on, and I think it would be good if they could just vault some people, put them away for now, and then, as you say, even if it is part of the storyline, and bring them back and say they've gone to the void or whatever it may be, then go with that. Also, just side note, it's the raft. That's the prison.
That's it. I was thinking the rig, but that's, I don't know. I didn't want to commit. No, that's cool. Cool. So we'll just talk about some of some rumours, I guess a little bit of news, and then we've got a couple of questions that we're going to from people on the Discord. We're going to have a wee look at. So the first one is, it's not so much a rumour or a bit of news. It was just something whilst I was scrolling through, like not TikTok, X. That I saw that Marvel, I saw something talking about how Marvel had said that is Avengers Doomsday, is that the next movie? I'm sure that's the next one. That the script, they had a script but it wasn't finished yet, and it needs to be finished by like the end of March or like some point in March. And it just sort of made me think, like, I'm sure James Gunn did an interview, and I'm pretty confident it's with Variety, apologies if it's not, where he said like they won't greenlight anything until the script's ready. And I just was just quite interested in it. Sort of, one approach seems to make complete sense to me, and the other approach just seems like a bit bonkers. And maybe exactly why Marvel or the MCU isn't where it maybe once was in terms of quality. I just wondered, what's your opinion on that, Ryan?
Yeah, well, I think for me, it's like most things, it probably shouldn't go anywhere until it's ready to go somewhere, and it's there's no point in starting to get the ball rolling and things if it's not where it needs to be, type of thing. I can't remember what it was recently. There was something like that where there was it felt like they were just ploughing ahead without really knowing where they were going with it, and then I feel like it just leads to future problems because then they're trying to kind of back engineer things, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought it was why I thought as well when I saw that. I mean, I'm gonna call it a tweet because I don't. What do you call it? An X? You kind of call it an X.
A post.
A post, yeah. When I saw the one about the Marvel thing, and obviously it's just people it's just people saying like this is what's going on. There's no actual confirmation from Marvel themselves. Why would they confirm that? I'm not sure anyway. It just made me think like I thought the whole point of like nothing coming out other than Deadpool and Wolverine last year was to like get things in a better place, and it just still feels like actually what they done last year was that they changed what they were doing with their Avengers films. They brought Robert Downey Jr. back, and then they're still started filming without a script. It's just I'm not without a script, but without a completed script. And I'm sure this happens all the time in films, and we're not aware of it. And there's some probably good, successful films that come out and with that sort of format, but it just feels like DC are doing all the right things at the moment.
Yeah, and there was something I was watching the first Avengers movie the other day there, and there was something in that happened. I can't remember what it was, but it just made me think about how they clearly had like a roadmap and a vision of where they were going with it all.
Aye.
And it's going to annoy me now what it was. But anyway, yeah, they clearly knew where they were going, whereas at the moment, again, obviously we don't know until we get these films, this next batch of films coming out and batch of content to know if they know where they're going with it or if it seems like there's a plan. But that's phase 4 there didn't feel like it was there was a full vision in place there, and there was things teased and hinted at that we've never heard anything about again. So like in the Eternals, we've not really heard anything else about the giant Titan or whatever in the celestial
hand in it. Yeah,
that's not really been mentioned
apparently,
again.
Though, did I read somewhere that that's going to be mentioned in Captain America?
Yeah. But there's things like that, Shang-Chi, the whole thing at the end of that, like there's just things that feel unresolved, and albeit that they might get paid off at a later point, it's not felt at any point currently that we know where we're going with it.
Yeah. And obviously DC, we don't know anything. I mean, I know Creature is it Creature Commanders that's out and it's been out and finished in the States. I don't know when it's coming out in the UK. The animated TV show is the first part of that. I guess cinematic world. I think it's been quite popular. I don't think people aren't like raving about it, but I think people enjoy it. Superman looks great, and it just feels like DC are doing James Gunn. DC is doing all the right things.
Yeah.
Cool. So box office, Den of Thieves is the highest movie at the box office this weekend. It made a massive 15 million. Not the best weekend for cinema.
Den of Thieves?
But the film I wanted to, Den of Thieves with Jerry Butler.
Is that not an old film?
It's a sequel, Den of Thieves 2, sorry.
Ah, right, okay. I was wondering. I didn't even know there was a second one out.
Yeah, there you go. Den of Thieves 2, 15 million. It's called Den of Thieves 2 Pantera. Made 50 million, but the film I wanted to talk about was Robbie Williams' biopic, Better Man. Made $1 million, or I think it was like $1.1 million at the cinema. Which I think might be world. I don't know if that's just the States or worldwide, but it's not going to be much more of it's worldwide.
Robbie Williams, as in the singer.
Yeah, Robbie Williams, Better Man. At 1.9 million to start, and then 4.7 million to date is what it's made. It cost 110 million to make.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and have you not seen the trailer for this film?
I've seen nothing about this. So he's got a biopic that cost $100 million to make.
$110 million to make, yeah.
Oh my god!
And I can't believe you've not seen this. So like,
it's really good. Sorry.
It's the monkey.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I don't. I feel like if you live in the UK, you've probably seen it. So it's like he's instead of someone playing Robbie Williams, there's a CGI monkey portraying Robbie Williams in this movie. Apparently, it's good. Like if you look at Rotten Tomatoes, both the critic score and audience score are pretty high. Like, and I've seen people talking about it, and it's good, but it's completely bombed. And one of the things I was talking about with Amelia is just like, I'm not sure Robbie Williams. I know he's massive. He was massive in the UK, in Europe for a while, but like, don't you have to be successful for like a really long time to get a biopic?
You would think so.
And I think of like, and obviously, I think you've got to be successful in the States to do a biopic as well, just because, like, for the most part, anyway, especially if you're going to do it on a budget of over 100 million, because you need to try and make that back. It's not like you've just done like a smaller movie on a much lower budget, and then you're just expecting that UK European audience to go see it. But like, he never made it in America. I feel like even here he was massive for a decade. Like, and there's no denying it. He was huge. Do you know what I mean? I think especially with like older millennials as well. But like, when I look at more recent biopics, you look at like the Elton John, who was not massive everywhere in the world, but also like through multiple decades as well.
Yeah.
And then like Queen as well, like again, sort of massive everywhere, and then again, sustainable decades where people were still listening to their music, like past when Freddie Mercury had passed away. Do you know what I mean? So just felt a bit. It feels like a weird choice to do a Robbie Williams Better Man biopic.
Yeah, definitely does.
Yeah, I just thought it. Just when I saw that, I was just like, "That is not good, man." Like,
yeah, that's bad.
That's a flop. I still might go see it though. Yeah, just because I think we're going to do another cinema day, not this weekend, but the following one.
But just on that, like, we hear all the time of these kind of films, like how much they spend in marketing and all the rest of it, and like I don't know if that 100 million includes or 110 million includes like what they would have spent marketing the film as well.
Probably not.
But to make it back, like it must have had to make like 300 million or something like that. So I don't know how they ever thought that would be.
Probably about. I'd imagine about probably about 200 million. I think probably to
break even.
I think so. Probably.
They probably were hoping to make something like 300 though, then, so that they actually make a profit off of it or something in that region. I would think.
What's crazy as well, so when I saw it, I was like, I googled like what British movies or like what movies in Britain have made over 100 million. There's only ever been 2 films that's cracked 100 million in the UK. I can't remember what the top one was, but the second one was the last James Bond film, which makes sense. James Bond films always do really well in the UK. But then you had things like Harry Potter, Avengers, Avatar that hadn't cracked. And these are the biggest grossing films in the.
Yeah.
And so they must have been like. I can't believe a conversation's not happened with like, guys, we really need to rely on the UK and European market here.
Yeah.
Like, but it feels like they've relied solely on that US market. And I even think of like Robbie Williams, he's even in the UK now, he's not in the conversation at all. Like,
no.
Other than the fact that his film's coming out, he's been back on the telly for the last few months, but like, I don't think people think about that anymore. Do you know what I mean? Especially if it's like younger people who go to the cinema who won't listen to Robbie Williams music as well.
Yeah, he's not in the public consciousness.
Yeah. I don't think he's that kind of. Maybe, and I could be wrong because I don't know what young people listen to, but like, I'm not 100% convinced he's someone that young people listen to. Whereas I think like people our age, where Queen was before us and Elton John was before us, people our age still listen to those artists. Like, I certainly listen to Queen. My dad had Queen on all the time in the car. Was that Terry Pratchett joke in Good Omens in it? It's like if you leave a tape in the car, eventually it will turn into a Queen tape. Like, Cool. The next one is a rumor, which I like. It is Chris Hemsworth set up a meeting apparently between George Miller and Kevin Feige for a future Marvel Studios project. Miller previously expressed interest in directed Thor 5. That's from worldofreal.com. That's where I found it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that?
It depends on the tone that they go for. I think we definitely. I feel like we need to move, not totally, but somewhat away from the tone of Thor 4. It was just a bit too jokey and a bit. I don't know. It just felt all a bit silly to me. Whereas Thor's like your godly character. He should be somewhat godly, I think, at times. So it probably depends on the tone, but they've obviously had a good time working together on the Mad Max film. What's it called?
Furiosa.
Yes, aye.
Which is good. It's good. And Hemsworth's good in it as well, so yes.
So that interests me. Looks like they've got a good working relationship. I do like Chris Hemsworth. He seems like a cool guy. I like Thor as a character, so everything should suggest something positive there about it. It just, as I say, for me, it would just depend on the tone and where they go with it exactly.
I think I agree with you, but I think there would be a definite tone switch because, I mean, I've only seen 3 George Miller films or 4 George Miller films, and they're all Mad Max films, like Mad Max 1 and 2. I'm sure he did the first 2, didn't he? Fury Road and Furiosa. And I think this is if Marvel somehow get George Miller to do a film, which I would never have anticipated beforehand, I think that would be a nice move. I think you let him do almost what he wants in terms of like story. If it doesn't want to, it doesn't need to be connected to whatever else is going on. But I agree with you. Thor, the fourth Thor film, is it Love and Thunder, is just poor. The further I get away from it, the more I dislike it. It's becoming I think I like Christian Bale in it, but he's in a different film from everyone else. Like in terms of the way he's performing and what he's doing, it's not great. And I like there's little comedy moments I like. Like I like the switch up between, like, do you know the way, like, sort of in the first Thor, the way Natalie Portman pure like falling over herself for Thor, and then the second one Thor's doing that with her. I kind of like that, but like the whole like falling in love with like Stormbreaker and all the rest of it, and just all this, like, it was just some bad jokes and not good at all. But I think, like, I love the Mad Max films, especially number 2 and then Fury Road, and Furiosa was great as well. Really enjoyed it. And George Miller, I think, like, will bring the right kind of weird that actually a Thor film about Norse theology could benefit from. I think, and I think he'd probably be someone who'd get right into the mythology stuff as well, which I think could be really good. And Hemsworth, I think when we got him in Ragnarok, he probably needed to be lightened up a wee bit. And I love Ragnarok. I think it's great. But he had serious moments in that film as well. It wasn't all just like slapstick comedy. There was some like good character moments with, like, obviously Odin dying, and then just like when he gets like serious again, like when, do you know the bit when like he's sort of like he's getting defeated and he's having these flashbacks. His dad is just like, are you the god of thunder or the god of hammers or the god of hammers or the god of thunder or whatever? And then the sort of what's the song that comes on? The Immigrant Song comes on, and it's just such a cool like scene. And then obviously into Infinity War, where he's just like the best Thor, in my opinion, we've had in the whole of the MCU.
Yeah, because he is mostly like a godly god then, though, because he's quite vengeful and he's on a kind of path of vengeance, I suppose. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's out to get Thanos, and so he is more serious in that. And there is a jokiness side of him when he's with the Guardians, but he's there to
Oh yeah, like, and then he provides the best up until like only in my opinion beaten by Portals, like
Yeah.
the best like entrance scene in the MCU up until that point, like so good.
Yeah.
Like so yeah, like that gets me kind of excited, like thinking, oh, we could have another good Thor film, like, and yeah, I'd be all for that, and like make it a bit weird as well. Like I'd be all for that.
Did you never see Happy Feet?
Oh, did George Miller do that as well?
So we could get a Happy Feet themed.
Yeah, yeah. Thor tap dancing in the ice. That'd be good. No, I didn't realize that. That's cool. Cool. A wee gaming rumor. The new Switch is to be revealed on January 17th. There's a leaker called Moisty Charlie. Apparently correctly leaked the PS5 Pro reveal date and is now saying that Nintendo Switch 2 will be leaked next week. Or is it this week? When's the 17th? This week? Friday?
Yeah.
Thursday?
Friday.
How do you feel about that? What's your expectations of the Switch 2? Do you care? Do you like Nintendo?
I like Nintendo. I've never had a Switch, so I can't relate to it in that way. I hope it does get released so that then potentially I can get Sophie a cheap Switch, just a normal Switch. But
all the best. Nintendo, just don't drop those prices, man.
But no, it sounds good. Again, I like. It's like a lot of things. I like there being other consoles about and not just being like PlayStation and Xbox, because then I feel like competition breeds better products. So, no, I would be happy to see it. But as I say, I'm not a big Nintendo or Switch. No, I'm not a Switch user, so I'm probably not the best person to answer that. So it's maybe better your views and opinions on it.
I mean, I think it's about time. I think we've seen the Switch too. Like, I think I'm sure I reposted some of this stuff on X. Like, Genki, who are a company who makes like accessories, posted a bunch of accessories they have for the Switch 2 with a mock-up design of what the Switch 2 looks like, and now Nintendo are taking them to court apparently. So it's please don't take us to court, Nintendo, but you do like taking people to court. It's one of your favourite things to do, it appears like. Obviously, a game we played last year, Pal World. Nintendo's they just love it. Yeah, this is probably true. I can see this being true. It's about time we see it. I think people want a new Switch. I think more than anything, which I don't think we'll get in the 17th. I think it'll just be a trailer for the Switch. I want to see what exactly the Switch can do. There's rumors that obviously Switch is never not Switch. Nintendo's never prioritized being like cutting edge when it comes to graphics for games, and this won't be any different. It will be less powerful than the PlayStation, less powerful than the Xbox, but it's going to be more powerful than the Switch. And the rumors have been saying that it's going to be on par with a PlayStation 4. When you get like some people like kind of like laughing about that online, like who probably don't play Nintendo, probably people who play, and this isn't to like have a pop at them because we're those people to an extent, like Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever, like just play those types of games. But I think what the PlayStation 4 had The Last of Us Part 2, which looks incredible. They had Uncharted 4, which was out in 2016, is still one of the best looking games about. I had Ghost of Tsushima, I had Death Stranding, all these incredible like big games look beautiful. So I'd be interested to see what they can do with that, and I don't think they'll change their style too much. I wouldn't want Nintendo to change the style of their games because I love how different they are. But it'd be nice to get like for example, Zelda Breath of the Wild, but just a bit more detail and be able to be a bit more creative with the art style because you can render more things into the environments. So I'd be really interested to see what you could do with that. Like same with like the Mario games, like Mario Odyssey, the last 3D platformer from the Mario series, or at least probably the most popular one on the Switch. Like, can you get the environments in that world just to have more detail, just feel a bit more dense than they maybe did before? So I think that's what I want. I don't think we'll get that in the 17, but I'm interested to see what can we actually get on the Switch 2. I think people said, like, and this is interesting as well, is that a lot of people are predicting that Elden Ring will be one of the first games announced for the Switch 2 as well, and which
really?
would be good because you wouldn't be able to play Elden Ring on the current Switch. It would look terrible for a start, and I think if you could get something like that on there, that would be pretty big. I think lots of people who maybe I can't afford a Steam Deck because they're £600-700, who could get a Switch to play like Elden Ring on the go. I think people like the idea of playing games on the go. I think it's becoming more and more popular.
How old is the Switch?
7 or 8 years, I think it's
Is it?
Yeah, which tends to be the time for consoles. Like every PlayStation is I think, other than between 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, I can't remember which one, has been about 7 years gap as well. So, and obviously, like, sometimes things go wrong. Like the Switch, the Wii went to the Wii U, and the Wii U pretty much failed, so they moved on to the Switch pretty quickly. But the Switch has been so successful. I think is it not like the highest selling console of all time?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
The Switch is great. It's such a great little console. Do you know what I mean? And I think what Nintendo's got in their favour is that they do games that no one else does. They're not trying to compete with Xbox and PlayStation, and because of that, like, they outsell them. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of nuts. Like, right, nice one. So before we talk about what we've been playing and what we've been watching, we get a couple of questions from a couple of people on the Discord. First one, I'm going to do a two-parter, and then the second one is just its own wee game. Oh, sorry, we've got trailers first. Should we do trailers first?
Yes, go for it.
Sorry, trailers. So, a couple of trailers. First one is what's it called? The Jason Statham one. I've totally forgot what it's called. A Working Man. Jason Statham, of course, is a construction worker who is unbelievable at fighting and killing people. How did you feel about this trailer? Did you enjoy it? What's your opinions?
I thought the trailer itself was done quite well. I like these trailers that like kind of intercut the action with the music. Yeah, so I thought the trailer was well done, but it's not a film for me. I don't watch much of these type of films where it's Jason Statham or Liam Neeson or somebody going out fighting people and being, again, showing off their hidden talents. But the trailer itself looked good and gave a good display of the action. I just wonder if we've seen probably most of the action in the trailer.
Yeah, I do agree. I think I enjoyed the trailer, actually. Like, I enjoyed the trailer thinking I'm not going to enjoy this film. But like, I did enjoy especially the song choice. I thought was really good. This is a film for me that I'll watch when I'm off one day at 1 o'clock in the morning when I can't sleep and I just want a sort of dumb action film. Like, my voice went away. I did it again. No,
you did it
again. I remember what it was from last time. Though. It was the Gladiators, like the celebrity special. Did you see the video?
Right. Yeah.
I saw the video, and he was just like, contenders ready, and then he's like, Gladiators ready. It's so good, man. Mark Clattenburg. It was excellent.
Yeah.
It's Jason Statham in it. Like, there's a line in this film which might be the most used line in the whole of like the movie industry. Certainly, action films are like thrillers or like spy movies. Like, and it was the classic: "If I wanted you dead, you'd be dead." Like, just like it has to be used.
What was his accent? What was his accent in the film? Do you know?
What was anybody's accent in that film? That's one of my points. Like, some of the accents in that film was so questionable.
Yeah.
Like, she's got this weird American accent. I'm just like, just make him English.
I
Just
thought he was
let him be an
British.
English guy.
I thought it was
No.
British at the start.
I think he's meant to be American. And then you've got the guy from, I don't know, I can't remember his name, but he's in Lockstock. The guy at the end who's got, is he Russian? Eastern European? Just genuinely Eastern European? I don't know where he's from. And it, like, just bad accents. And I bet you the David Harbour scenes are excellent. I bet he's brilliant. Because he's always brilliant. Yeah, so that was that. And then the other trailer that we watched was Companion with your man from The Boys.
Jack
What's his
Quaid.
name? Jack Quaid, yeah. I'll go first on this. I'd seen the other trailer for this, and I don't know if I'd missed it. I didn't realise that it was a robot companion at first when I first saw the first trailer. So I don't really know how I feel now. I thought like it was just about these two people who were like, originally when I saw this like previously, I thought it was just about this relationship where these two people were like kind of like abusing each other, like, and it was kind of their kink. But now it looks like he's got some sort of companion robot, and he's been abusing that, and it's now about to take revenge. Another revenge film by the looks of things. And it looks like it might be have a more comedic tone than maybe I thought this was going to have as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. This is if I see this, it will only be at the cinema, and it'll be if I'm there to watch something else that day as well. I can't see myself dragging myself out of the house to see it.
No, it doesn't look a film that's kind of worth going out your way, but I think maybe similar to the last film, it might be one of those ones that you can just sit down and not get too invested in. I think the bit you mentioned, or what you were talking about there about it, you didn't realise what type of film it was. I think that's when I kind of became more interested in it, was when, again, it's the trailer starts off with it looking like it's a film about a relationship between two people, and then I think it's the Jack's girlfriend or whatever walks in and says something about just turning her off, and then she looks quite confused, and I was like, oh wait, so it's like obviously a bot or something along those lines, and then that's kind of when my interest peaked, because I was like, all right, okay, that's something a wee bit different. No, yeah, I think it looks okay. It looks fine. I like Jack Quaid. The actress, I'm not sure what her name is. I can't quite remember, but she was in Heretic recently, which I just saw, I think, last week, and she was okay in that. So, like everybody involved in it, and it looks like it might just be an alright wee film.
Fair dues. It says Sophie Thatcher.
Yes, it is.
Is the actress that's in it, or actor that's in it. Cool. So, yeah, as we were going to do before the trailer's there, a couple of questions. So the first one comes from Papa Doug from our Discord channel. Feel free to join that, guys, if anyone's listening. So he's kind of asked, he's asked a couple, he's actually sent in 3 questions, but we're going to save one. We're going to put one in now in our back pocket for another week. But there's 2 here. We kind of do it as a 2-parter. So he says, with all the problems over the last 3 or 4 years that COD/Warzone has had, especially with the latest version, do you think it still has a future? Will the reintroduction of Verdansk be a long-term fix for the franchise? And then just to add to that, with Battle Royale game popularity appearing to dwindle compared to the rise in hero shooters, what do you see as being in gaming, that's being big in gaming this year/next year?
Well, firstly, Papa, back off with all the questions. You're hogging them all.
No, don't, please, because no one else thinks anything.
In relation to Call of Duty, firstly, I kind of feel like Warzone, probably more specifically, is a bit dead now. I don't know if I can see a way coming back. Verdansk will be make or break, I think, but a map itself is not going to save what Call of Duty has become, or Warzone, should I say, has become. I think the multiplayer stuff's still fine, and I'll still always have your people who want to play the multiplayer side of it. But Warzone specific, I think, has got a lot of problems that need fixed, and I'm not sure they're wanting to put the time or money into trying to fix Warzone itself. But in saying that, I'm sure we'll probably both give Verdansk a go when it does come back.
Yep, we will.
But I feel like it's going to be a quick drop off, and I think it's going to be the opposite of what Fortnite had with the OG season when it came out last year. I think we're going to have the opposite of that, where it got everybody back interested in Fortnite. I think this might be the opposite, where people will play Verdansk and enjoy being in the map, but then not enjoy how sweaty it is and getting shat on every single game. And then everything else added on top of that with the bugs and hackers.
What about the second part of the question?
Remind me of the second part. I was hoping you were going to talk there so I could read it.
All right, okay. I mean, I can talk. Like, I probably echo a lot of what you said. I think what we do, I think we sort of romanticize Verdansk a little bit, and just the whole Warzone experience.
Like the end.
I mean, I loved Verdansk, but I don't think I honestly don't think the maps are the biggest problem with Warzone currently. I think it's the experience of the actual game, like, and how sweaty it is, and how, like, it just feels like, and obviously, like, I'm sure if anyone listens to that, like, oh, it's a skill issue, and I'm just like, yeah, that's fine, it's okay. I don't mind being worse than other players that are playing, but when I play Fortnite, when I play Marvel Rivals, like, I'm at the lower end of the skill on those games, but I don't feel it, if that makes sense. I don't feel. I feel like I can have games where, like, you go off. Like in Fortnite, I've had games where, and this won't be that impressive to people, but I've had like 14 kills in a game. I've never had that in, like, Warzone. Like, my experience is so different. Like Marvel Rivals, like, getting, like, you can get, like, it's easy to get, like, MVP in the game. Not easy, but, like, it happens quite regular to make you feel like, oh, it feels quite good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think with Warzone, it's just like I say, I think we romanticize it. I think we think about, like, it was during COVID. Everybody was on it. Like, it sort of brought. I think even if, in our friendship group, Ryan, like, that we were all on it at times. Sometimes 6 of us on, like, and we're playing 2 trios or 1 quad and a duo, like, and all in the same chat together and stuff like that. It was just a good time.
Yeah, it was.
Well, in terms of Warzone, I don't think they're ever. I don't think it's going away. COD's certainly not going away. Like, Call of Duty is. Everyone's. I think especially whilst that Warzone's not doing great, the most recent Call of Duty has been talked about in a positive light, especially the campaign, and I think the multiplayer to an extent as well. So COD itself is, like, Black Ops 6 has done well, so it's not going anywhere. Like, COD's not going anywhere. Like, it's not a chance. Warzone, again, I don't think it's going anywhere, but I just don't think it's going to get back up there the way it was at one point. I think the last 30 days, the last month, it's been at its lowest on Steam in terms of player count. I'm not sure if, well, I'm not sure, because I'm not sure if Marvel Rivals has got anything to do with that, but I think an educated guess would tell you that Marvel Rivals probably has a big part to play in that. I see they went up another 200,000 player count since Season 1 started.
Oh, really?
On Steam. Yeah, that's just on Steam as well. So, like, which I guess leads us to the next part. Like, Papa was asking, like, what do you think the next big game of, sort of talking about hero shooters on the rise for 2025? It's hard to tell, like, because, like, when you get new games like Marvel Rival, it's like how it's hard to tell how long they're going to last. I think this will last for a while. I don't think it's a Concord. I don't think it's just going to fade away into obscurity. But it depends how good this first season is. And I think what was nice about Marvel starting is, like, here that we're starting on season 0. It's only going to last a month, so players will just at a few maps, and then within a month you've got some new stuff already.
Yep.
And I guess the worry is like how much do people want new stuff, and how quickly do they want it?
Mm-hmm.
I do think you have to let I do think you have to wait a wee bit before you get it. And obviously, it will be a few weeks before we get some more new stuff, which is fine. But also PlayStation, well, I'd say PlayStation, Bungie, who are owned by PlayStation, have got Marathon coming out this year, which is being created by the guys who created Halo and Destiny. And so they'll be looking for hopefully that to be big. I don't know. I've not read too much about Marathon. There was a trailer, but it's just a cinematic. This was like a year or so ago. If it's 6v6, I don't think it's a battle royale though. It's probably more in line with your, not quite a hero shooter, but it's a little bit more in line with that, I'd imagine. And I don't know if you pay for it. I don't know if it's free. I don't know if it's live service, but it is coming out. And obviously Bungie, there's 2 successful games. So certainly Destiny 2. Do you know what I mean? And Halo is obviously one of the bigger shooter franchises to exist. And obviously that no one plays that anymore. But in the past, at one point, it was the biggest like online shooter.
Yeah. I think just going back to just what you were saying about kind of Papa's question about what's coming up. I think it's hard to see beyond Rivals at the moment because it's doing so well, and I think one of the things that they've done well, which we've maybe criticised things like Fall Guys in the past, where you say they had a couple of months there of season 0 and then straight into season 1, and it's like felt quite fresh and updated fairly regularly, and they seem fairly on top of things in terms of buffs and nerfs and all that type of stuff. So it seems like a game that's got some people looking after it, whereas things like Warzone doesn't feel that way at all. And I think one of the reasons as well that things like Rivals and Fortnite are more enjoyable is because, stupid as it sounds, there's less people involved. So like Warzone, I can't remember what they're up to, if it's 150 players or how many players are on a map, but with Warzone itself, like that's you playing against real people and they tend to be quite sweaty, so you're diluting your own chances of winning, whereas like Fortnite you're in like bot lobbies and whatnot, so you're playing against less real people, and I feel like you've got a better chance of winning. And that feeling that you're talking about of like getting 14 kills or whatever, and it makes you feel good about what you're doing. Same with Rivals, you're 6v6, so you're going to be hard pressed to not come out of that with a few kills or something at least and have some moments of feeling good. And then it's short, sharp games and you're into the next game really quickly. So I feel like things like Warzone are on the way out because there's just too much going on and not enough people looking after the game. So I think that's one of the reasons why things like Rivals are succeeding, and that's going to be the future. Yeah. And again, I don't know, I can't foresee the future, so I don't know quite what we're going to get next, but I think that's the way things will be going in the future.
It's hard not to say Rivals just now as well, just because like that's what we're playing, like that's what we're enjoying at the moment. It's at least certainly for myself, like that's I've not been playing any of the other games at the moment. I've only been playing Rivals, like, and it's quite rare for me to go on a shooter by myself. Like, and I played Rivals the other night by myself for about 3 hours. Like, and it's not something I normally do. I never went on Warzone by myself because, like, for me, Warzone more than anything, the experience of that was just hanging out with my mates playing. And every now and again you'd get a decent game and you feel quite good about yourself. But like Marvel Rivals, like I jump on by myself and like do what I need to do and like just enjoy myself. Like for the most part, like every game you get a wee bit frustrated now and again, like especially when people don't stay on point. It's very frustrating. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, pretty much all of what you said there, Ryan. I think like what you're saying about Fortnite and Rivals, it's just like about I think with Warzone, it's just like, at least I would have to be playing that every day to get any better at it. And I think people just don't have that time. The average person can't play games all the time. They either play other games or they've only got maybe a few hours to play games. And if you're going to be more successful on Fortnite, which is an easier game in my opinion than Warzone, if you're going to play Rivals again, which I think is easier than Call of Duty, and I'm not saying like don't get me wrong, when people are excellent at both these games, then you don't stand a chance. But Warzone, with all the hacks and all the sweats and stuff like that, and the movement and stuff, is just like it's just not for me, man. Ooh, down with Warzone.
Yeah.
No, I'm not kidding. I hope it stays. I hope it gets good again. Like that's the actual real reality. I hope it gets good again. I don't think we answered your questions there, Papa, but there you go. We spoke about it. Next question is from Jack in the Box on Discord as well. What is your most controversial video game and movie opinion?
For me, so video game, I struggled with this on the time that I had to actually think of it, but for me, something I think, I don't know if it's controversial or not, but playing on easy is okay. You don't like.
100%. Preach it, man.
So like, just like what we were talking about there with Fortnite and that, like, I enjoy thinking I'm good, and whether that be playing it in super easy and it actually being good or not, then I quite enjoy doing it. And if I feel like playing in hard, so like God of War, for example, the first, or that, I can't remember what year it was, 2018 or whatever it was, playing that, I played that on easy or whatever to begin with, played it through, loved it, and then I went back and played it in whatever level was up from that, and I played it like through all the difficulty levels, and did everything I had to do to get platinum on it. But I just enjoy playing games on easy, and I think that's okay.
No, I totally agree with that. I like get away from this get good thing. I think I totally agree. Do you know what's so funny about that? I was going to say as a joke, playing Elden Ring as a magic user is cheating. That was just never pop at you.
Rude.
No, I think I totally agree with that. And what I do with games a lot of times is that I'll play it on. I've never bumped a game up to hard. Like I just I don't need that extra difficulty. I'm not the best at gaming anyway, and I love it. So I always play it on normal, but I played the first God of War, or God of War 2018. Sorry, on easy. I played the most recent one just on the normal settings. But what I do sometimes with games is that I'll play them on the normal settings, but see when you get to the part of the game that's maybe a bit grindy, where you've got to go and do side missions and all that, and it's just, I'll pop it on easy for those sections, because I'm just like, I don't mind the challenge for the main story, and sometimes I actually quite enjoy that if I'm finding it challenging. But when it's just all the other stuff, I'm just like, no, let me just do this. Let me just go away and do this, and it just makes it nice and I don't know, just a wee bit more enjoyable for me when I do it that way. And sometimes as well, like when you play on, so I'm not sure how the Jedi Fallen Order is a Souls-like game. So like it's the style of combat that you get in like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, that sort of thing, where you've got to sort of be patient. You've got to like. And when I was playing it, when I played Fallen Order, I hadn't played Elden Ring at the time, so I'd maybe play it different now. But I was struggling with the combat, and I was like, I do not feel like a Jedi in this game right now. And so I bumped it down to easy, and I absolutely kicked everybody's arse. And I was just like, this is great. I feel like a Jedi now. I was like force pulling people towards me, pushing them off edges like with the force, and like doing all these moves with my lightsaber. And I was like, this is what I wanted to feel like playing a Star Wars game. And I couldn't get, and it was a bit of a skill issue, but I couldn't get that experience playing it at the normal mode. Now, like I say, I've not played Jedi Survivor yet. I'm quite comfortable with the Souls-like style now, so I'd certainly at least attempt to play it on normal difficulty or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm okay with that, right? My gaming controversial opinion is just like, I don't think Nintendo's as good as what everybody else says it is. And this is someone who likes Nintendo. I like Mario. I like Zelda. I don't think Breath of the Wild is this again a game I've played and I really enjoyed it. There's a particular little bit. There's a little mission. It's about building a town called Tarrytown, which I loved. My favorite part of the game, which is not part of the main story. It's just a side mission, but I absolutely love doing that part of the game. I think it's one of the only two truly open world games that I've played, at least, and I think Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild are two truly open world games. I think a lot of the other games that we say are open world are just big sandboxes. And I also think Nintendo just get away with, they get an easy ride a lot of the time. So like, and I don't know if this is just the PlayStation fanboy in me just like fighting back sometimes, but when I see things like, oh, The Last of Us gets remastered and people lose their shit and not in a good way, they get really pissed off about it, right? But Switch constantly remasters old games for the console, charges them at full price, and nobody bats an eyelid. Like, everybody's always cool. And I'm sure not everybody, but it feels like they don't really get the same hard time that everybody else gets. And that would be the same, like, if Xbox were remastered again, they'd get a hard time as well. And I feel like Nintendo, people seem to be more willing to put up with crap for Nintendo. Bam, no. Are you listening? Nintendo. I'm sick of it.
Get it sorted.
And your games don't go on sale ever. It's really frustrating. Please put them on sale, because some of these games have been out for 7 years and are still full price. And if they do go on sale, it's like 5% off. Like, it's just really frustrating. Yeah, I just don't think that these like. I just don't think the games are, and I don't know if it's because I didn't grow up with it. I grew up with Sega, so like that was my console growing up. I went from Sega Master System to the Mega Drive and then on to PlayStation. So I never had a Nintendo in the house. Switch is my first console, and it's great. It is great. Like, I'm not trying to say that at all, but just don't understand the hype with some of the games that the way people go on about them. So maybe I'm the problem, but I just think they're ever so slightly overrated.
Yes, yeah. So I had a Nintendo. I had the first, or the original Nintendo, and then a 64, and that's all I've ever had, I think, or a Game Boy as well. But I feel like a lot of the games that I see in Switch, I'm always kind of intrigued by them, but then I've always tend to have like a lot of hype behind them. But then I think a lot of the time it's like with Burniston, and when they're in getting the two guys are in getting a coffee and are saying, is this a student place? Like, I kind of feel like that's I kind of feel like that about like Nintendo games, where I think a wee bit like kind of art wankery type games, and I don't know if they would quite be for me. So I think I would probably tend to agree with you as well, where I don't know that I fully believe in the hype behind Nintendo content.
Yeah.
So I can get behind what you're saying.
Also, I just came into my head there, because obviously you said you had the NES or the SNES. I don't know which one you had, but like, it just made me think, like, there's a guy called Paris. He's like a gaming journalist. He pops up on the Kind of Funny podcast quite a lot, and on their videos on YouTube. And he keeps like saying it should be called the Super Nintendo Switch, and I was just like, yeah, I like it. I do like that. Just for the Super Nintendo, like, I like Super Nintendo Switch. I think it's better than Switch 2.
Yes, I would agree with that.
What movie? What movie thing? My movie one is going to piss off Jack. Well, not piss him off, but he's going to disagree with me completely. I think that the Last Jedi is one of the best Star Wars films.
Why is that controversial? Is that not like up there as a lot of people's top one?
People hate it. Critics hate it.
Sorry.
Fans hate it.
The Last Jedi, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, right, yeah.
I think The Last Jedi is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think it's so good. And I think a lot of people don't like it is like, it really, well, there's lots of reasons, but one of the reasons I love it is it it really goes into like the grey of things. It's not like the dark side and the light side. And I think a lot of people don't want that in their Star Wars because like the Force dictates what happens to everything. If the Rebels win, it's because the Force said so. If the dark side wins, if the Siths win, it's because the Force said so. And I just like it when my favourite Star Wars is when it's all just a wee bit grey, and people can have a bit like can be a wee bit of both. And I love like the whole Kylo Ren and Rey sort of pulling towards each other. Like, loved it. I think Rian Johnson did an amazing film. I do have problems with the whole final trilogy because someone should have just taken control of that instead of letting what's your man J.J. Abrams decide how the first film was going to go. Then let Rian Johnson come in and go, I don't really care about the Force Awakens, and so I get like it doesn't really work as part of the trilogy. I'm just going to do my own thing, and then Abrams coming in at the end and going, I don't really care about The Last Jedi. I'm just going to do what I want. And so like that, I think that's the big problem with the trilogy, in my opinion. But in terms of The Last Jedi, I love it. I think it's I'll always love it. I like Luke more, and people will hate that as well because people love Luke. But I found Luke, except maybe in Return of the Jedi, to be a whiny little bitch quite a lot of the times in the first two Star Wars films, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, especially A New Hope. Can't stand him. He's just very annoying in my opinion. And yeah, I love it. And my other one is just like I also don't think, and this is something that I rated quite highly when I first saw it, and but the further I've got away from this film, the more and more I don't actually think it's any good. Is the Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The more time I think about it and stuff like that, I just think it's just like, I just think it's a bit, to use it's a bit wanky. It's just a bit. It's just I don't know. It's just I don't think it's great. I don't think it's a great depiction of the Joker. I don't really understand what it's about. I don't know what the film's trying to say. I just think it's a bit of a shite film.
Yeah, I only saw that. I think I said this to you recently. I only saw that maybe a couple of months ago for the first time, the Joker, and I actually really enjoyed it.
I think what I did when I watched it is I think like Joaquin Phoenix is good because Joaquin Phoenix is good in everything. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he always shows up, and I think when I just got wrapped up in that. But when I actually think of like the story and the decisions that were made in it, like the whole like fact that like pretty convinced that the Joker's a pedo, like in it, like with obviously his interaction with Bruce Wayne, like the gay is weird and creepy, and I get it. Oh, it's the Joker. He is weird and creepy. I'm just like, but it just feels. I don't know what it told us about this character. The obviously the song choice that they had for the steps and all that, the Gary Glitter song and all the rest of it. And people can argue like what the purpose of that was, but I'm not sure that's because I'm pretty sure the song's meant to be in his head and stuff like that and all the rest of it. But whatever. And just like the scene where you're meant to like he's getting bullied on the train and then you kind of meant to feel sorry for him, but he turns into the aggressor. Like I don't know. The more and more I've watched that a couple of times, and I think 3 times actually in total, and I've went off it.
Fair enough. On the Last Jedi, I would agree with you. I really enjoy that film. I think it's really good. I think
pals, right?
I remember coming out of it and thinking that was really good, and then seeing quite a lot of hate for it.
Yeah, I was surprised at how much hate it got.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like I can take my Star Wars how it comes. But I think people are quite particular about the Star Wars and they feel it's not a Star Wars film. Like, you know, like, remember we used to watch Collider or AMC or whatever it was back in the day, and Christian Harloff like That's one of his things. He's like, oh, you can like it if you want, like that's fine. He says, but it's not Star Wars. Like he's like 100% on, like, and obviously he's a big Star Wars guy, and I think a lot of Star Wars fans feel that. And actually, if you look at like critics who don't like it, and like one critic who really loves it and is not a Star Wars fan at all is Mark Kermode.
Yeah,
and that probably speaks to a little bit. So I guess I don't know if empathise is the right thing with other Star Wars fans, but I maybe understand why they don't like it. But for me, I think it's just like, and I like the Star Warsiness of it as well. Like even if it doesn't traditionally fit in, but I think Star Wars does that. Star Wars is different. Whatever you watch, it's not consistent. Never has been. Like, and so
I think like some of the stuff that it covers in that film as well, if I remember rightly, because it's been a while since I last saw it, but I think it like touches on maybe some of the stuff that you get in like the Clone Wars series, where there's you get a lot more lore that you would normally get obviously in a film because they've got more time to go into it, and some of that stuff I love. I can't remember. I think it might be in Rebels. There's like a big creature that's a grey Jedi or grey in where it stands in the Force, and I was just always quite intrigued by what they do with that character, and it just adds more depth, I suppose, to the people that we're interacting with. But yeah, no, I can totally get on board with the Last Jedi stuff.
I think one of the things that people don't like is that, do you know the scene where there's this scene, you see this scene twice because you see it from the two different points of views, like where Luke goes to like deal with like Kylo Ren when he's sleeping, like attack him. People are like, oh, Luke would never do that. And I'm just like, I don't think he did. I think that's the whole point. I think that's how Kylo Ren interpreted how it happened, and just like, and because obviously you see Luke's point of view is that scene as well, where he's like going to get him because he's worried about him, he's concerned about him, like, and I don't know. Great film. People are wrong.
They are wrong a lot.
Aye.
I don't really have much to add to this section. I don't think. The only thing I kind of could think up was the Monty Python films are not as good as everybody thinks they are.
Yeah, I've not seen any, so I'll just agree with you.
I think they're good and they're funny, but some people, the way people go on about them, like they are the holy grail of movies. I think people going about them way too much, and yes, they are funny, but I don't think they're as funny as people try to make out. I think it's one of these things, people try and make themselves sound more intelligent by saying, I like Monty Python, when I don't know that they really do.
Yeah, I think, like, I've not seen Monty Python stuff, like, I've never seen it. I think if I watched some of it, like, I'd laugh at some of it, I do, but, like, I think sometimes, like, I think a lot of times with comedy stuff especially, I think it's people like our age and younger who would do what you said there, who say they love it, because I think comedy, you have to be in the moment to enjoy a comedy film. Like, I think they're of their time. I think they're the movies that age the worst.
Yeah,
for different reasons. Like, because sometimes the films are referencing that moment in time, and so you don't find it funny anymore, but it's not as funny as it was when you did watch it 15 years ago or whatever. And sometimes because, like, society changes, what we deem as funny isn't the same anymore or whatever. But yeah, I don't have a problem with that take, Ryan.
I think as well, like, I'm sure you've probably done this before, but like, you've watched a film with a group of people, so like Anchorman or something, for example, you watched it with a group of people and you had a great laugh watching it, and then like over Christmas, I think the second Anchorman film was on something, and Charlene happened to kind of catch about it, and she's like, what is this? And just like, this is a absolute rubbish. And like, I was going to watch it, like, it's not great, is it? And I was like, probably if I watched that with like a use or something back in the day, I would have found that a lot more funny than what I did.
I have a theory on the first Anchorman film as well, though. I think Anchorman, the first film, is definitely funnier when you watch it with friends, but I think it's funnier to talk about Anchorman than it is when you actually sit down and watch it. Like, I think it's funnier quoting Anchorman with your mates. And obviously, credit to that, because they've obviously done something right, that you, like, 60% of the time it works all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, loud noises, like, lamp. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm trapped in a glass case of emotion. All that stuff. Like we all probably used it for quite a while. I don't use it anymore, but there was a period of time where like those quotes would come out my mouth reasonably regularly.
Yep.
I do love it when Jack Black. I know this is the first Anchorman, but when he punts the dog off the, and as a dog lover, I've got a dog. I love my dog to bits. But when he punts the dog off the side of the bridge, like there's something really funny about that. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's all fair. But I think like maturity is understanding that Step Brothers is far superior to Anchorman. I think that's like we all have that realization that it's a much better movie. Cool. So I think we're nearly at the end. Just before we go, Ryan, like what have you been watching? What have you been playing?
We have been playing. I've not been playing much actually, as you know to your dismay, but I've not really been on the computer. Marvel Snap, I've been again just grinding away in that whilst I've been sitting on the toilet or doing other things. So I'm progressing in Marvel Snap, but I don't think I've played Rivals since.
Well, you've not. It's really rude, actually. So
I should be on later on this evening.
Thank you.
But no, I've not really been doing much else. I try to think what I did watch. We did watch. Oh, I showed them. I mentioned this to you. I showed Charlene Into the Wild. We watched that for
the
first time. Or she's watched it for the first time the other night there and said she really enjoyed it. But yeah, otherwise, not a thing.
Sorry, Harley's just like sat on my wire for my headset. She's really knocked off. Cool. Yeah, you need to get on Rivals. This is Monday, by the way. The podcast will be going on Wednesday, so if anyone's listening and think we're playing Marvel Rivals tonight on Wednesday, that's not happening. It's tonight we're going to be jumping on. But I've been playing loads of Marvel Rivals. I love it. I'm quite obsessed with it at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the two new characters of Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, and Invisible Woman, Sue Storm. I'm playing both of them. Like we were talking before, I've managed to get MVP a couple of times with both of them as well, which again feels nice. But I think probably my two favourite characters at the moment, actually. Just that. I've not been playing anything else. I've not played any more Sly Cooper. I've not played any more Stellar Blade. And there were two games I'm really enjoying as well. I've got time playing Marvel Rivals. I played a little bit of Snap actually the other day, just to keep.
Yeah, I saw you on the cube board.
Yes, I'm on the cube board, guys. Excellent. And I'm watching. I saw 4 films at the cinema on Saturday. I saw A Real Pain. Let's go with it. Let's play a game, Ryan. 4 films. Did it make me cry or not? You've got to guess. I saw A Real Pain. Did it make me cry?
I'm going to say yes because I read something saying there was a bittersweet ending.
Shed a tear or two, a little bit. Yeah, shed a tear or two. We Live in Time. Did I cry?
Yes.
Sobbed. Like actual sobbed. Do you know when you're like you were a wee boy and you do that wee? I've never. That's the most I've cried at a film. I think I was sobbing. Like honestly, it's just like, yeah, they're not great. Nosferatu, did I cry?
No.
And Saturday Night, did I cry?
No.
No, 100%, Ryan. Well done, you. You know me well.
Yes.
Yeah, saw 4 of them. Good day at the cinema. Good films. A Real Pain, I gave 4 stars. We Live in Time, I gave 5 stars. I thought it was brilliant. I think Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield should just be in everything. Like, they were excellent. It's as much as I did cry, and like I said, at the end I was sobbing. But I think part of the reason for that because it's really sad at the end. Because you sort of like it, you know what's happening before it actually saying this has happened, and that it just made me cry anyway a lot. But the first 45 minutes, 50 minutes of the film, it's a lot lighter in tone than I anticipated it to be. It's pretty funny. Florence Pugh's character in particular is funny. And so, like, do you know that way when you feel like, oh, this is good, I'm enjoying this, like, and then it sort of hits you with like the sadness that you know is coming because the film's very explicit and upfront about what's going on in this film. Do you know what We Live in Time's about?
No.
It's just a kind of like it's a it's not a linear film. It jumps back and forth in time. Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh, they meet, they fall in love, they have a kid, blah blah blah. But it all jumps back and forth in time. But the film starts with Florence Pugh getting told that she's got cancer, and it's
spoilers.
Yep, that's how the film starts. But it's not the first time she's had it. It's came back, and that's how the film sort of starts, right? And even the next scene after that's quite just a mini spoiler. It's quite a sad scene. She's telling Andrew Garfield, she's like, do you know what? I don't know if I want to go through the treatment again. I don't know if I can handle that because it's stage 3 ovarian cancer. She's like, I think I might just want to live the best 6 months I can live instead of like 12 shitty months. That's what she says. But then the film sort of goes back in time. It jumps back to the present. And it's sort of like it's all just about the times that they sort of live in. Hence the name of the film. But it's like I said, it's quite a fun film. And so even though there is genuine moments of sadness, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And like I say, those two are just incredible. Garfield, the guy's brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Then Nosferatu, I gave 4 stars. When I loved it. Like it was some of the cinematography, the music is incredible. Bill Skarsgård is great. Willem Dafoe is great. The other people are fine. Adam Taylor Johnson it's just Aaron Taylor Johnson is just sometimes I really like him, sometimes I don't, and this might have been leaning more towards didn't sort of like his performance. There's some bits about it I didn't really like. I won't go into it, but like I say, when I loved it, like I really. Like, I was like, oh my days, this is just such a visual feast for the eyes. So it was really good. And then Saturday Night is what I gave 3 stars, but it's fine. Like, it's like an hour and 40 minutes. It's fast paced. It's like, it's one of those films, like, I think if you watched it, you'd be like, yeah, that was good. I'll never watch that again in my life. Like, it's kind of like, it's about the opening night of Saturday Night Live. I will say the people that played Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, and Billy Crystal in particular, absolutely nailed them. Like,
yeah.
I like they don't. Dan Aykroyd certainly doesn't look like the guy who played Dan Aykroyd. Certainly doesn't look like him, but his voice and the tone and the cadence, everything about it. Billy Crystal as well, like really nailed those performances. Willem Dafoe was popped up in that as well, and again, but I mean, Willem Dafoe's just so good, isn't he, man? Like he never.
Yeah.
He's so good. I love him. So great day at the cinema, and then at home we've been watching Squid Games. We watched another episode last night, best episode so far. Have you seen? You have seen Squid Games? Have you seen up to episode 4 at least?
Of season 1, I can't remember what I've seen. I know I definitely got to some of the games kicking off. So
did you get to Tug of War?
I don't think so. I think I got to.
All right.
I think I've seen them do obviously the red light, green light, and then the. Like the honeycomb one. Yeah. All
right, fair enough. So this episode after the sort of honeycomb one. Oh, so good. Best episode yet. And we've been watching the trailers as well, which is just good TV, man. You need to get on it. There's some of our friends in our WhatsApp group, Ryan, they're on it as well. You need to get on it. Just good. People are dumb. Like, this is great. And then, yeah. That's pretty much it. Gladiators starts on Saturday, which I'm really looking forward to, which I didn't think I would. If you'd asked me this time last year, would I be excited for Gladiators to come back? But we watched last year and really liked it, and we're looking forward to the new season of that.
Yeah.
Did you watch it last year?
I did watch whenever it relaunched. I did enjoy it because me and Sophie used to watch it together. So I did watch it when it relaunched. Yeah.
It was good. So second season of that this year. Look forward to that. But yeah, that's us. Anything else you want to share with the good people before we go?
Just my love and harmony for the world.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for listening, guys. Any feedback would be great. Follow us on X and on Twitch. What else we're at again, Ryan?
At Pixelflix Pod.
At Pixelflix Pod. Join the Discord if you stumble upon this podcast, please. That'd be cool. We'll probably do some gaming nights, won't we? Like with people. Mm-hmm. Like if people join, that'd be cool.
Definitely.
Nice one. Well, thanks for listening. Take care. Have a nice week. Bye.
Bye.